Okay, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters from all around the world. Welcome to this online attendance workshop. Now, this online attendance workshop is comprising with four, I wouldn't say best DTMs, but awesome online attendance gurus. They are actually been to online experience and were willing to go online to help you set up an awesome online attendance club. In the meantime, obviously, we follow the Toastmaster bylaws and also making sure that you are compliant to it and making sure that your members' experience counts. So today we have 4 different workshops. Each workshop varies differently. So the first workshop will be done by Mark Reynolds, which is a very good friend of mine. He is member of 2 districts, and has been in an online attendance since I think it's 2013. If it's wrong, please correct me, but he's not in the room, which is surprising. Now, another one that I highly recommend is Elysia, sorry. I usually call Elsa because I think that she's a princess, really. So Elysia, she is a very nice, I would say, the perfect TI parliamentarian, if I would say. She goes by the rule book. She goes by a lot of different logical structures to really sell the highlights of what an online attendance club benefit your club members. Now, the third one that is going to be on there is Willie. Basically, Willie also has experience in online attendance and is a current president of Singapore Online Toastmasters. And finally, wrapping up will be me. I will sum up anything that they may have missed out, and I will actually put in my own suggestions from my own online attendance experience since 2009. Okay, which is basically, that's how much time I spent there. But the thing is, I'm going to give you this very rich, valuable workshop, all presented by DTMs here. So while waiting, I see that why not do the introduction? I welcome everyone to actually switch on webcam to actually do the nice warm-up of getting the whole crowd started. So I see a lot of people still switching off. So why not open your webcam? Don't be shy. I don't bite. Don't worry. We have fun online, and it's actually like we are experiencing a very nice online attendance right now. I'm just waiting for Mark to be there. And also introduce yourself, where you're from, and also let us know more about you. And then we can visit your cities and visit your country, because online is everywhere. As long as you have an online attendance link, we can visit to your club. Obviously, there are some side effects. The time zones. So just remember that, okay? The time zones, I remember the days whereby I spend how many long time hours, like one whole day, 24 hours, I visit 6 clubs around the continent. That's how I was devoted there. So now we have our very prized Mark Reynolds back online. Is Mark Reynolds still okay? Hi, Mark. I know you're talking to someone. I do not know who that is, but bring it onto the screen. Mark, are you there? Please unmute yourself.
Mark Reynolds is okay, but he's having some technical problems at advancing slides, so I'm just a little bit tied up trying to fix it at the moment.
Okay, so why not? I see whether Elsa wants to do it first, because Elsa's focus is on the benefits and also the selling points of online attendance. With Elsa, Alexa, sorry, I always think you are a goddess already.
Elysia.
Yeah, I know, my mouth started when I see the princess. Okay, so the thing is, would you like to start first, and while solving the problems for Mark Reynolds, and let him settle it on after you guys? Would you want to start first?
Okay, I don't mind. Yeah.
Okay, so let's give a round of applause to our one and only, I want to say Elsa again, but Alexa. Thank you.
Elysia. Okay. Well, good evening, fellow Toastmaster worldwide, guests, friends. I'm going to talk about online attendance meeting after COVID-19. I would like to bring you to do a recall. Do you still remember when the lockdown was announced? What happened? Do you remember? We were unprepared. We had no choice. The only option we had was online meeting. Then quickly, we need to find a way to learn how to conduct online meeting. We look up to the experienced Toastmaster like Alan Leung. I thought we learned it quite quickly. Then all this online meetings started to happen. We got so excited. And then we triggered worldwide clubbings. We became busier than before because we were just busy to attend worldwide online meetings. That was wonderful. I thought it was a great experience so far. Then we took advantage of this kind of online going on. I saw a lot of people, and including myself, we started to conduct online workshop. And by taking advantage of this worldwide presence, we invite proficient speakers worldwide, especially the world champions. Of all this going on, I thought has been wonderful, good. The question is, do you want to stop here? Do you see a reason to go on? Or do you see a reason to stop? I would like to do an experience check, good or bad. Let's figure out. I would like to give you one point that I saw solidly, and this is a good point for the reason to go on. I saw the increase of participants in every club meeting I have attended so far. Every club meeting I have attended, they have increased in participants. It's a good sign, right? Why? 3 reasons. First one, members, easy, no traveling. They can just sign in and join the meeting and make the meeting possible, easier. Second point, long lost member came back. They told us that now they could join the meeting. It became possible because in the past they've been tied down by the work, thinking of traveling. They said no, they can't afford to spend those time. Now this online meeting make it possible for them. Of course, the third point is all the clubbing going on worldwide even within our district. The people can do clubbing easily. A lot of people, they can do a few clubbing within a day. Imagine all this going on. Do you want to stop it? Besides, I saw 4 solid advantages. The first one is we all can learn and support each other worldwide. Second, we all can invite role players worldwide. Third, we all can seek speaking slot worldwide. And fourth, we could build worldwide networking. Today, we live in global village. Let's tap on the worldwide resources, put it all together, make the best of it. These are the good reasons for us to go on. Nonetheless, there are disadvantages, as is it now, that we cannot ignore. Don't be discouraged by all these disadvantages. In fact, they are not as bad as we thought. We have to recognize all these disadvantages at this point and manage it. I think these disadvantages would slowly go off one by one. Let's begin with the first one I saw. The first one is distance. Online meeting, distance. You cannot help it. This is the fact. You need to accept it. You need to accept it and term yourself with it. It's not too bad. It's just another experience, another different way of meeting. See it from a different angle. Don't just resist it, but embrace it. Second disadvantage is Wi-Fi. I know online meeting rely mainly on Wi-Fi. When you have a bad connection, the instability of Wi-Fi is going to be very challenging to go on with your meeting. But this one, I believe it could be resolved very soon because IT is improving, progressing very quickly, faster than you can imagine. The point of disadvantages is culture shock. I remember I heard a lot of stories when people got excited to jump on the worldwide clubbing. Then when they visited a club in a country and with the people they have never had any experience. They got shocked. And then they resisted. They didn't feel like going back. I think this culture shock will go away as time goes. You just have to get used to it, learn to embrace, and learn to accept differences. The fourth disadvantage now I see this one could be quite challenging. This one is the new guests. In the on-ground meeting, me as a president, I feel that new guests is utmost important for me to recognize them, have them introduce themselves. But in this online meeting, the challenge is number one, when you have a large participants, and when you have them turn off the video, it's a challenge to identify them, to recognize them, not easy. When we are unable to recognize new guests, that means we are unable to build a connection with them. This is very challenging. Even the on-ground meeting, I find it also very challenging to get the new guests connected with me. I have to make out of effort, not to mention this online meeting. But I don't mean there's no way. There is a way. We can talk about it later. The fifth point is it is not a real stage. Sad to say that so far, I've seen most people, they don't stand up when they do their project speeches, when they need to speak. It's not to set a rule that you need to stand, but public speaking, on-ground meeting, you got to get to the stage, you got to stand up. But with online meeting, people, it's hard for them to adjust. So far, I've not seen a lot of people get used to it. I never give up to remind people, stand up, to facilitate your body language, your hand gestures. Then it will be good to improve, to give let the evaluator provide you feedback. And also the eye contact, the audience connections is challenging. So far, I've seen a lot of clubs that cannot manage even the timer well. Imagine the situation when you are asked to pin the timer, then you cannot see yourself on the screen. When you don't see yourself on the screen, a lot of people, they are not used to it. They say, I cannot see the audience, I don't feel the connection. Then there is another way, is to turn all this video off, leaving only the timer and the speaker. But then no audience at all you could see. Those are the situations you can never get it perfect at this point. I believe the solution will come. We just need to give it more time. The sixth point is, there are still many people, many Toastmasters, not IT savvy. They resist. I've been inviting them, they refuse to just join and get on the meeting. It's not easy for them to overcome it. It will take time for them. Hopefully when this thing going on long enough, they might at least give it a try. But this is the challenge that we have with all these disadvantages. Hey, don't be discouraged. It's good to recognize all these disadvantages. As I say, we need to identify what is it good for. I have 7 points here as what is it good for. What is the online meeting good for? There are a lot of points you probably have not thought of, and I try to think it through and highlight it to you. The point number one, online meeting. What is it good for? It is good for worldwide joint meeting. Right now, there are a lot of joint meeting going on. These are the good things. Don't stop. Continue. But how to do it, I'll give you the suggestion later. We can improve that. Number two, what is it good for online meeting? Worldwide workshop like now. We can continue to have worldwide workshop. Get more people to be benefited from all the proficient speakers, experienced speakers, share all the knowledges, all the knowledge that we have, experience we have with worldwide Toastmasters. Point number three, worldwide panel discussion. Well, there are a lot of topics, different aspects in different parts of the world, at the club levels. There are a lot of issues that we can discuss and we can talk about. And all these panelists can help Toastmasters worldwide. Like now, this is also a workshop and also a panel discussion. This can benefit Toastmasters worldwide. Don't stop. Point number four, this is called Toastmaster Meetup. Let me explain to you what this is. This is, I would consider it as an official Toastmaster meeting, but it is Toastmaster meeting because it is still all the Toastmaster, all the members get together to talk it out, to identify what are the issues of members, especially the new members, how we can support new members, what they need, get them to talk it out. Spend personal time at club level, at personal level, even the mentorship talk. Do you agree that in the official meeting, we are unable to talk to each other? We have no time. On the on-ground meeting, the minutes, even though I had been 1 hour ahead of the meeting, but once I get to the meeting hall, I have been busy doing a setting, all these things going on until the last minute, the entire meeting ended. I have no time to talk to the members. Therefore, I have been having my club, Shaklee Dynamic Family International Toastmasters Club. We have been having, I call it as an official Toastmaster meetup. We usually do it in the food court or in a restaurant. But now, hey, we have online meeting. We can use this online meeting to do this meetup worldwide. I talk about the meetup within my club, but now online meeting make it possible for worldwide. We can talk to members worldwide to get to know each other. Don't just jump into the official meeting. We don't have, so far, I've been attending meeting worldwide, but I didn't get a chance to talk to anyone. I didn't get to know each other. We need this kind of meetup meeting to get to know each other, to talk it out, especially when you have joint meeting. Before you confirm that you have a good match to have a joint meeting, I would encourage you to have this kind of Toastmaster meeting, unofficial meeting. When I said unofficial, it's just not a meeting structure, but it's still a Toastmaster. Everything we talk, focus on Toastmaster. It's nothing like chit-chatting. we will ask member, what do you need? What is a problem? What is a learning that you need? What are the supports that you need to have? Everything, just Toastmasters. Another point number 5, worldwide ESCO meeting. Do you think about it? Even the ESCO meeting, you can do it worldwide. Invite other ESCO members from other meetings, other clubs. Exchange ideas, exchange thought, share experience, discuss, share, exchange club issues, solutions. I think this is very beneficial to club officers, especially the club officers are new, quite new. Nowadays, we have a lot of new club officers. New Toastmasters, I mean new Toastmasters as a club officer. Hey, we can expand that to district level. You know, all these district officers, we have been having the trio have beyond district networking, training. But now with the online attendance meeting, we can do the district officer meeting at all levels, area level, division level, whatever level. We can do that. So this worldwide networking is not only for the trios, it's for everybody. Last but not least, 7, don't forget the advantages that we highlighted just now. I would like to repeat. First, we can learn and support each other worldwide. We can invite role players worldwide. We can seek speaking slot worldwide, and we can build worldwide networking. In our life, this life circle is just the same. First, you experience it, even though you don't know. You just experience it. Then you do the review. It's time. Now it's a time to review. So far, we have experienced a few months of online meeting. Now it's time to review and then improve, then continue. Don't take all these experiences and don't drop it. Don't drop it. Make it better to benefit more people. There's no reason to stop. I really see no reason to stop. And there are a lot of reasons to begin, to continue. Now, come to my suggestions. I have a few suggestions. First suggestion, you don't have to choose between online and on ground. You can do both. I know Aaron don't like me to use the word hybrid, but now I use the word blend. You can do both at the same time. I know a lot of clubs have 2 meetings a month. You can do it, one on ground, one online. Or if you prefer to have more on ground, you can schedule it every 2 months, every 3 months, whatever it is. Make it flexible. You make your plan, but don't give up. Think about it. Sometimes when you have an on-ground meeting, and then for whatever reason, your members, most of the members could not make it. Hey, now you have an online meeting, turn it into online meeting. This is a good option, right? Think about it. The second suggestion I have for you is, it's time to think about your purpose. While we started by very excited, we have experienced all these things, we really didn't think much. We just want to jump on, we just want to experience it. Fine, we have all this experience. But now, it's time to review. It's time to think about your purpose. What do you want to achieve? What is your purpose to have online meeting? Is it for attracting new guests, for membership drive, that you want to show the new guests that you have a worldwide presence, opens up their horizon, give them a wow effect. This could be a good thing. It could be a good selling point, especially for the young guests. I think they will want to have this worldwide presence. They will get excited. What is your purpose? Do you want to learn from proficient speakers? If this is your purpose, identify the proficient speaker worldwide. Follow them, track them. You can track the home club, attend the meeting first, get to know them, then invite them to your meeting. But with the online attendance meeting, it's not possible, right? Or you can even have a joint meeting. What is your purpose? Is your purpose to serve and to help Toastmasters worldwide as a worldwide servant? If you are, I really count down to you. We need you. We need your worldwide servant like Aaron Leung. There are a lot of need to be taken care of, especially at the grassroots level, at the club level. Your purpose determines your plan for your online meeting. Carefully thought it through. Don't stop. Design, strategize your plan. Now I want to talk about find your match. For a long term, even like for a long term, whatever long term, if we want to find a long-term partner, you need to start figuring out what you want, right? Find your match. If you think your club, most of your members are young, new Toastmasters, you probably want to look for a club that are more seasoned speaker, more seasoned Toastmaster. They established long enough to have a lot of experienced Toastmaster. If you think your club is kind of quiet, then you probably want to look for a club that is boisterous, energetic, passion. How to identify this? Of course, is to do the clubbing. You have to go do your research to identify the match. If you find your match, then think about the theme. Just now I say about the worldwide joint meeting. Right now, it could be everybody is so excited to just want to have joint meeting. You didn't really think about it deep enough. But now, hey, for the long term, you need to think about it. The joint meeting is good. It serves the purpose. Is when you have a good theme, and when you find your purpose, then you have a good theme to make the impact, to really be beneficial. Don't just waste an opportunity to have a joint meeting just for the sake of having two clubs combined. That should not be the real purpose. The real purpose must be because you are seeking for a long-term match, a club that can work with you for a longer term. Because if you want long-term, you need to get to know each other. You need to complement each other. And then now, talk about being open and accept cultural differences. In the longer term, you have to accept each other. You have to learn. That's why I suggested to have the meet-up meeting. Hey, sit down, have the meeting, not the official meeting, but have a Toastmaster meeting. Understand each other from the Toastmaster aspect, your club policy, your club culture, how do you think it, what do you say? Discuss, exchange, and understand each other. Build the connection. build the rapport, build the bond. Then you can have a long-term relationship with, you can have more than one club. You don't have to choose one. This is not about marriage that you only marry one person. You can have more clubs to build the bond. Last but not least, in conclusions, I think for a long-term online meeting after COVID-19, you need to think about strategizing your long-term online meeting plan. Make yourself a plan that is meaningful, purposeful, and fruitful. Consider all these points I have been presenting to you. I see more positive points than negative or disadvantages. In fact, those disadvantages are not a true disadvantages. It's just that you need time to work on it and manage it. Again, I'll conclude by saying there's really no reason I see you should stop the online meeting. But with all the reasons pointing to one direction, you should continue. Carry your experience, don't throw it away. Review it, improve it, make it better, and continue. Think about the worldwide presence, how much you can give, how much you can take. Tap on the resources of the global village. I think I'm done with all my points. I still have time for questions, Aaron?
Yep, you have 2 to 3 minutes of questions. Feel free from the floor to ask the questions to our lovely workshop speaker. Ask about the benefits, because that's actually her main focus of this workshop. So if you have any questions, please do ask in the chat box though. There's no questions so far. Most praises though.
If there's no questions, probably I will leave it to the end. Let them think through it.
Okay, so give a round of applause to our lovely workshop speaker. By doing it online, we actually have a sign, we wave to give applause because we do not want to make that sound, right? So let's wave to our first workshop speaker. Okay. Now, obviously, to add a bit more point for you to actually think about the imaginations of what online attendance can do for you, think about that you can do an online YLP, Youth Leadership Program. Or think about the possibilities of doing online speechcraft to somewhere in Africa and other places around the world. Just let your imagination fly. The online attendance actually comes with a lot of different elements in play. Not just that, you could be in somewhere in France, in a prison, whereby you're helping a couple of people who are going through those times of rehabilitation. You can help them through online attendance that help their public speaking skills. Give them a chance of turning themselves a new leaf. These are some suggestions or some things that we have done, or else I have done, to make online attendance a better place. Now, next, obviously, is our very distinguished Mark. Please tell me that you didn't disconnect yourself. Where's Mark? Mark, can you do a wave or shout? If not, just if not. If not, then
he's offline again.
Why? Okay, so don't worry, we still have 2 DTMs here. We are not disappearing Toastmasters, but we are always here. So now is the time whereby we have Willie or me. Willie, let's do a scissors, paper, stone. Who wants to go first?
Okay,
People
go ahead.
already. I do a light one to warm everyone up if you want to.
Can I ask a question to the audience?
Oh, please
Do
do.
you know how many devices are needed at a physical venue for if you want to have a physical meeting plus an online meeting? Can I ask David? David McMahon. Sorry.
Question, please, Willie.
How many devices are needed at a physical venue? Do you know?
How many devices are necessary?
Yes, necessary aspect.
I'm not sure I understand the question. I expect each person to have at least one device in order to be able to log on to an online meeting.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. At a physical meeting, what are the device that is needed to present, to speak, and to see the audience?
At a physical meeting,
Yes.
there's no need for any device.
No, for example, you need to present something. You need a laptop.
And one device. I'm sorry if I'm not embracing the
Okay,
direction. Yes, one device if I want to do a electronic presentation, yes.
Yes. Let me ask Graham, how many devices is needed for a physical meeting plus or online meeting?
For a physical meeting with online attendance, how many devices do you need?
Yes.
Look, that's a how long is a piece of string question. The absolute minimum is you would require one laptop which is connected to the internet for the online participants to be able to be seen by those in the room. But I would suggest a better option would be perhaps 3 devices, a laptop, maybe connected to a projector for the audience to see the online participants, and 2 cameras pointing one to the lectern and one to the people in the room so that everybody actually feels like they're part of the same meeting.
Thank you. You got the answer correct. Let me show you a slide so that you will be surprised. Give me a minute. Let me share screen. This on my left hand side is a physical venue. On the right hand side is online meeting, audience in an online setup. So you measure 3 devices. One is connected to the projector to the screen. One to the speaker like a lecture, and it can act as a timer as well, an online timer. Or you can have someone physically at the venue. And you have another projector to the audience that is connected through the internet to Zoom. And you need a standby device. What you are saying, what you mentioned earlier is this standby device can sit here as well to project the other side of the room. So you are correct. You are not, there's no right or wrong answer on this, but you are the closest, you have the closest answer. And this is where we sit. And you need an SA on site. Online attendance, let me bring you to the fact of online meeting, which everyone is familiar. Online meeting, you have an online SA, you have a Zoom master, or you have multiple Zoom hosts, co-hosts, you have a timer, and you have multiple devices for different locations. And you will face connect any point of the time you might be connected to have a stable internet connection instead of a Wi-Fi, a free Wi-Fi. Let me share with you a story which I have done it for a physical club, and I will invite the president of the Japanese Changkat and Toastmasters Club in Singapore to open her video, and she will share you some experience. Elysia, can you share your experience when you are managing an online meeting as well as a physical meeting? Can you show your experience?
Hold on. I'm not prepared. Yeah.
Can you share your experience when we first set up everything a second time? What's your experience you would like to share with the audience?
Yes, just now we did mention on the 3 devices that we use. On that day, we did have a device facing the audience and a device attached to the projector and the speaker facing the device as well. And the challenge that we face during that night is the sound system, because the room was pretty big. So when the speaker online was speaking, we are not able to hear in the room. So we are shortage of, maybe I should say, the speaker system. We need to amplify the voice so the room can hear from the speaker who speak online. And those speaker in the room, when they speak, I think another problem is the speaker online can't hear clearly the people speak in the room. That is our challenge when we started with that meeting. And also internet connections, because I was using our CC do not have the Wi-Fi, so I was using my hotspot. And when when the hotspot disconnected, the 3 device all was down. Yeah, that's all for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Elysia. Anyone who have any experience, I open up to you to share your experience before I continue. Anyone else?
If I may,
Okay.
Willie.
Yes.
I think Zaldi, I've already spoken, so Zaldi had something he was going to say.
Okay, I'll show you some of my devices that I use. We have this mic. You position it, it will only get the voice in front of the mic. So, and to solve the problem of external speakers, to make it loud, also have a loudspeaker to amplify the speaker online. And last is, what's the other one? Oh, I have, I don't use the camera on the laptop, because what you do when you use the camera on the laptop, you relinquish the control of the laptop. So I use an external webcam. So these are the basic equipment that I have, aside from the projector and the laptop. Okay, back to you, Willie.
Thank you, that's it. Okay, that day when I was a Zoom master for Elysia club, I have to contact her when the connection got lost, as she tell, and at that point she went away for a short while. Good. But finally she went back and then connection resumed. So the challenge is never use a Wi-Fi, use or hotspot, use a dedicated Wi-Fi. A chapter meeting for a 3 hours meeting will cover you 2.5 gigabytes of data. So this is cost you have to take care. Okay, let me continue my second part on my slide. So according to Toastmasters International, the online attendance FAQ, it's defined that any members can participate and interact in a club meeting through the use of live audio and video conferencing tools or online platform. We are using Zoom. There's many others. It's the same like a physical club. It's a business meeting. It's the same. You can. What advantage is you can have Toastmasters for other clubs to come in to take our roles. Physical club, we face problem with role taker most of the time, but online meeting help us. We learn to present in another platform, be it presenting or evaluation or even tabletop. The pro con is internet connection cost and data cost. Are you or your member willing to take out that cost? And additional role taker is required at both online and when you need 2 set of SA, you need SA or online and physical. Yes, we call it IT manager. And most important, according to TI, you need to update in the club center and get your member to vote. And you need 50% on the physical venue. So the common issue that was faced was what Lisa has shown, connection loss. Where to set up the PC because you and the venue. This I have a very good channel, but I can visualize because most of the community club in Singapore, the venue, the training room is similar. So I have less difficulty to understand. I just need to know where the audience sit, where is the lector is, and where is the projector. And if you use less equipment, that is lesser than 3, I remember I attended an online club, a physical club with an online meeting. They started with only 2 venues, and they don't know, even the speaker online are not trained. They say they cannot hear because they are muted on Bluetooth and there's no enough support staff. So do you think it's visible? I leave it to audience to decide. Greg, any question on your side for me?
One of the difficulties with online participants in an on-site meeting, the hybrid model that we're talking about, one of the problems that often happens is that those that are online have difficulty hearing those that are in the room. Do you have any suggestions for how best to deal with that issue?
Like what I did, let me share. I bought a mic. Like what Jazzy has shown, we also use an external mic. So you can connect through the laptop. And then the audios will be the quality will reduce because if only people who are standing away cannot hear, only people online can hear you. That's why I spent 150 US just to get this 80-20-20 US plus. It's a good experience because I assure some of you, Aaron, some of the people who have attended the Singapore online meeting, you all have heard how I speak before a mic and how I speak after I have a mic. My voice is still much more vocal. And definitely this is the cost to the member, not to the club. So this they cannot claim. The club can only claim for the data charge according to their ESCO requirement. So an external mic will work, or connect, open your mobile and put inside your pocket and connect to Zoom and then do your speaking there. That is one solution. Because or else you get an external Bluetooth device, plug it, and then you just speak hands-free. This is about adapting to technology and adapting to your style of presentation. Because if you need to show body language, you cannot hold your hand, your phone in this way, or else it will distraction. So what we practice in the physical club, the basic skill is still applied on online. Okay, I guess I have some questions. According to, can you have a physical meeting plus an online meeting? There's no right or wrong answer. I guess Aaron will be the best person to answer this. Aaron.
You can have an in-person meeting, you can have an online meeting at the same time, as long as it's fit the online attendance quorum of 51%. As just now we have a demonstration there of if there's 21 people and you have 11 people on the site, if you have 10 people online, that still fulfills the requirement of having online at the same time. The best element in play in this online attendance methodology is that not everyone will be willing to go back in person. This is something that you have to understand, that they are still fearful of the coronavirus. So having online attendance actually gives a buffer, also give everyone an element in play that they can still try to go back to in-person, experience how it goes, and when things are safe, they can all go back to in-person. So this is one suggestion. Back to you, Willie.
Okay, thank you. No, Aaron, what Wally asked is, can you have an online meeting plus as another meeting with offline and online?
At the same time, right? Or you mean in two different rooms?
Different time.
Different time. That is actually called a special meeting instead of an online attendance meeting. So these two elements have to be in place. If you're a district club, for example, and you are having one meeting in person and one meeting online, that online is actually a special meeting. It's not part of the online attendance series, or what I was saying. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Yes, Brad.
If I can direct you specifically to the Toastmasters International rules, this is complicated, but the rules state, and can I share screen? I'm not sure whether, no, that's,
why not, Graham?
you'd need to make it available.
You can share screen.
All right, let me, okay, this is the actual rule as it stands. Online attendance is defined as any member participating, or so you can read this, but the important parts are clubs that opt to allow online attendance must specify that a maximum of, you must have at least 50% of your members physically in the room. Now, it doesn't state whether that can be split across two meetings, for example, which is one of the things that was being suggested in the chat. It doesn't state whether that's over a period of 10 meetings, but I can tell you that there has been one club in District 69, my home district, which was operating under these rules. That club has since folded because they found it was not possible for them to guarantee that they would have a majority of members physically in the room. And so that club has literally folded. It's just said, we cannot meet this rule, so we're giving it away. They were a police club. About half of their members were going to be in police headquarters at any time, but about half of their members were going to be out doing police things. And so they tried doing a club with online attendance, and they found that they could not guarantee that a majority of their members would physically be in police headquarters. And so they ended up folding rather than working around it. I am not supposed to say this as an incoming district officer, but I suspect that post-COVID-19, World Headquarters will not be sending out spies to make sure that your club has a majority of members physically in the room. It's up to you how you deal with that. But I mean, I'm genuinely hoping that they may well change or at least modify that policy. Or actually, I think strictly speaking, it is a protocol. But just at the moment, the rules are that a majority of members must physically be present in the room for you to allow online attendance, for you to allow a meeting to go ahead. That's post-COVID-19. While COVID-19 restrictions are in place, all of these rules are up in the air. Toastmasters has said, go ahead and meet online. That's why we're all meeting online. But post-COVID-19, strictly speaking, we're supposed to go back to a majority of members physically in the room at any given meeting is how I would read that rule. But it doesn't actually say.
Thank you, Graham. Let me share with you an experience sound that I have with a Toastmaster Club in Singapore. When I first started Singapore Online in November, 2 weeks later, the physical club, one of the physical club immediate past president contacted me and asked, can they conduct online meeting? My question to them is no. I also have discussion with Aaron Leong. I even write to World Headquarters and the answer is still no. You cannot have a separate meeting with no audience in the physical meeting. I just say one thing. You want to do it, you don't let me know. You let me know, you'll be in trouble. Because I'm not here to report to people to the illegality of the club. My role is to uphold the bylaws of Toastmasters International, because we all follow Toastmasters International. It's not about convenience. If they want to have a separate meeting that is online, they need to write to Toastmasters International World Headquarters directly. I'm not in the position to report to them. I just feel that it will jeopardize the online club. We are two different entities. Aaron, do you have anything to comment on this statement?
I only have to say that for as a legal practitioner, I will say there are always gray areas in laws, and we have to find the flexibility in there, as Graham actually mentioned, and pretty cool. I mean, like, they want to send spies over to check. Honestly, they won't. I mean, why would they actually have so much manpower to actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then count how many people that actually fulfills it? No. To be honest, it's still about flexibility. It really matches the members' needs. Although, even like if there are, like, as an incoming district officer as well, I couldn't say a lot of different issues saying that you can go by this option. But I do recommend that if you want to go for an online attendance meetings, why not consider to try online? Let people get that online vibe slowly off. Like, maybe gather in a house, have a house warming party and stuff like that. And then let people get the use of in person. Then you add some online elements, then people feel the transitions there. So that's my only recommendation. For me, I already helped around like 6 clubs back from after like COVID-19. They're already back in person with online attendance, and it works very well. So if they can do it, why not? Back to you.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I not 100% understand what you are talking about, because it's really out of my understanding that online meeting is this way. But let me give you an official report on this, because since I'm helping Aaron I don't want to say anything without, but then it becomes argument. I will do my homework and provide you a full report on how we can do online, because as far as I'm concerned, so far as is it now, I know that all clubs can have online attendance. You just need to specify in attendance. You need to do it. You need to specify in attendance, and then you can do it. But get into the detail. I want to explore all that you say and to confirm it. But to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's not that complicated. It's pretty easy. Okay.
Graham, go ahead.
Yes, I have to agree with Elysia. It is pretty simple. The short version is that any club post COVID-19, and we have to draw that qualification now, because at the moment all the rules have been suspended relating to clubs with online attendance. But post COVID-19, any club can allow online attendance provided they change their club bylaws to state it, but a majority of members must physically be present in the room. You can only have a minority of members online. It's one of those annoying rules to me, but that is the rule, and it's quite clear on that any club can have online attendance. 2 of my clubs in District 69 already have that written into their bylaws, but they must have a majority of members physically in attendance for the meeting to be considered a valid Toastmasters meeting.
Mm-hmm. Just to add on a bit more, just for clarification purpose, you have to pass a motion somehow to actually change that bylaws, making sure that your members definitely know that it's going to have an online attendance element. Don't let them live in the dark, because they'll be like confused. So I can go online or in person. So when you pass by for the quorum itself, you're actually amending the bylaws to allow online attendance. And I can assure you, any club can have online attendance. The only type of club that may not have online attendance will be 100% online clubs. Graham may disagree with me on that part, because 100% online is literally 100% online. It's not called online attendance because it says clubs which offers online attendance. This is the only exception type of clubs that couldn't have online attendance, but the others are totally fine. You may have a community club or brick and mortar club. You just need to tell them like, look, why don't we have an online attendance option in our club? Pass a motion, gather all your members together, vote on it. And then after which, if they want it, you're respecting the wishes of the members who wants to try this option. Then try it out, because there is a lot of training process within that. And Willie, me, and Mark will be telling you more about that later on how do you actually set up a perfect, or say near perfect, online attendance option. But yeah, this is the usual procedure route. I hope that's very clear for everyone.
I guess there's some question for Jack. For Jack, can you unmute yourself?
Thanks very much. Yeah, no, it's really fascinating discussion. I've got to admit to being fairly new to Toastmasters myself, so I'm not as steeped in all of this as many of you. But the club that I'm in has had a vote to go to become an online club, which I think is what you were just describing. That's in a sense our response to COVID-19 is to embrace it and go completely online. And also we have a theme around sustainable finance. So it very much fits in with the purpose that Elysia was talking about, that we're all about less of a carbon footprint, etc. So in that context where we are an online club, my question is what the experience is on this call of how to feed people's desire to have some physical contact as well within an online club. We used to meet in London, and many of us are based in London. And what's the best way for an online club to bring in some physical contact? That's my question. Thank you.
If I may answer that, because I am directly involved in a number of online clubs, the first thing I would have to say, and you may not like this, but the first thing that you would have to do is to hand back the charter of your club and start a brand new club, which is an online only club. You can't just go online. Again, it's frustrating, but that's the rules. So you would actually have to wind up your club, hand back your charter. Everybody would have to quit. You would have to have a minimum of 20 members, start a new club, which is an online only club, which by the way, would then not be part of a district. It would be an undistricted club. But leaving all of that aside, what an online club can do to deal with the issues that you're talking about, the need for some people to actually physically get together. And some of my online clubs do this. They have more than one person in a room connecting to the online club. We have a couple of couples who come in from their home and they are together, but they are members of an online club. So they're joining us online. You could do the same with perhaps half a dozen people, perhaps 8 or 10 people. I don't know that you'd ever get that many people together in an online club, but it could be done. But yeah, I should, and I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I really should warn you that if you wish to convert an existing club to an online club, the only way to do it under current Toastmasters rules is to shut your club down and start a brand new club, complete with the new club fee and all those sorts of things. So there's got to be a way around this for you guys. I just don't know what it is just yet.
The other option that Graham and myself and Aaron will say that go and join an online club, 100% online. That will give you an opportunity based on your time zone. I guess I have a last question for Chungke. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Willie, what is it?
You have a question? You raise your hand.
No question. I'm hearing all the discussions about having online meeting at the same time with the offline meeting together. Then my majority of the club members that are around, so that you can get your online on and so on. And then you need to incorporate into the club chapter, what you call the bylaw to allow online, etc. and so on. Then when the club will go on to totally online, you need to form a new club totally. Now I'm listening on this now. I mean, very interesting about this online thing. Now there are on the hand side, what I feel very funny about that, the 50% of physical presence must be there in order to have another side-by-side online meeting. Something I find it very perplexing. I say perplexing, really perplexing. If the club have members overseas, I mean, there are people from overseas want to join your club in Singapore. Why not allow? To me, why not allow that? It becomes very internationalized. You have people from overseas to join your club because they are overseas. You join a club online. I think that should be something that maybe somebody got to tell TI about this thing. Allow such arrangement. Yes, I think not online. I mean, as far as a club having physical meeting or offline meeting, if they have members from overseas who knows that they are having meeting, and this club allow people from overseas to join them online, and want them to be a member of the club. So I think that maybe TI, somebody can say, I brought this up, say TI should allow such an arrangement instead of taking very strictly that 100% online or 100% offline, or say 50%. You have for offline club, my 50% present in order to have a side-by-side online meeting. So this is what I've heard about.
Okay, let me answer you this question. I have also asked TI on this. The difference between physical club with online attendance and 100% online club is physical club with online attendance, you can only have members for the district, the country where they are. Online club is an international club. We can have members throughout the whole world, regardless of time zone. So this is the difference. So districted club, I have nothing to say. It's only managed under districted. The online club are all undistricted. That's why we can have members for all over the world. So membership wise, you can direct this question to TI. So we ask TI the difference, and we make it known to all the Toastmasters as well in our community. But people still got confused with the Aaron and myself. We have a lot of discussion since the day for today. So any more questions? And I will pass back the control to Aaron of the setup, technical setup.
Thank you very much, though. But before we actually go to there, our lovely friend Mark Reynolds is back online. So let's give a round of applause, though. Now, Mark Reynolds has, before I actually really bring this awesome person up, Mark Reynolds and I met a long time ago. The first time we met, let me tell you a secret. We actually argued every single elements of online. We have a debate. We shouted in the online international forum. We debated every single wordings that is in the bylaws. And then we become good friends. That's how it goes for a very marvelous, interesting conversation, isn't it? Because it's the passion that we all build for one simple purpose. We want to think for the best for our members. And that's why Mark Reynolds is one of the person, I would say, that also pioneered the online attendance realm. So give a round of applause to Mark Reynolds to give an actually extremely great online attendance workshop.
Thank you for that introduction, Aaron. Greetings, everybody from the land down under, where apparently nothing ever goes wrong, goes wrong, goes wrong, goes wrong. Does it, Graham? Internet connections don't drop when you're in the middle of a very important meeting and about to give a presentation. My presentation was supposed to be up front and introductory, and it seems that a lot of the things that I'm going to cover have already been covered, but I'll go through them anyway. Just a background about me. I first became involved in attending a club online, which was approximately 500 kilometers away from all of the other clubs in the division. And I was doing that as part of a team seeking to rebuild what was the oldest club in the district and the 6th oldest club in Australia, which only had 6 members, and they didn't want it to die. That was in 2013, and I only joined Toastmasters in December 2012, so that was pretty new to me. We did that through Skype, and the club has grown. I'm a member. I'm the online attendee. I don't drive the 500 kilometres to that club every meeting. Now, in 2014, I also became part of the study group granted permission by TI to investigate the viability of online clubs, but not just the viability in terms of technology. It's the question of the methodology. How do you do the transitions from person to person? How do you have the equivalent of an agenda? Now, this might seem all very easy now, but this project began in 2012, and in 2012, let's just say IT wasn't really what it was now, and nobody thought it would be possible. Venue clubs with online attendance, which is what we're talking about here, became official in August 2015, and I've been both an online member and a host of several clubs with online attendance since. When fully online clubs became authorised on the 22nd of March 2016, I became a charter member of Netizens, which was the very first chartered fully online club that sprang out of that study group to investigate how all of these things could be handled. And I do have the benefit of being an IT consultant, which is extremely handy. Not showing my skills very well tonight, but who can control the telecommunications. But enough about me. I assume that you all know the basics of online clubs, clubs with online attendance, and the first thing I would like to say, I think Aaron's probably said this, is that contrary to what fully online club members think, running successful clubs with online attendance is considerably more difficult than being a member of a fully online club. If you're a member of a fully online club, you have your computer, probably always sitting in the same spot, it's never moved, and you log on and away you go. If you are the venue host of a venue club with online attendance, then you've got to be carting gear around. You've got to set it up. You've got to check that everything's working. You've got to think carefully about the placement of the devices and the cameras, which is some of what I'm going to be going through. The basics are easy. You can, of course, start these days just with a smartphone. A single smartphone, and you can have a club with online attendance, or you can use a single laptop with a built-in camera. But to run an effective meeting, you need much more. It's my belief that the most important thing is that both the in-venue attendees and the online attendees feel connected to each other, as if they were all together. It's not just a matter of being an attendee at a venue. How many of you have gone to meetings where you may as well be a fly on the wall? So you're observing, but nobody's paying attention to you. And that kind of feeling can become very predominant in clubs with online attendance, unless there's a great deal of thought given how to overcome that. Both the venue attendees and the online attendees need to feel connected with each other as if they were all together anyway. Now, there are two things that are important to accomplish this. One is the technology, but the other is the use of the technology and mutual acknowledgement between the in-venue and online attendee. Technology-wise, it's best to have as a minimum a device with a camera pointed at the stage area and another device with a camera pointed at the audience, so that the remote attendees can see both the presenters and the audience. I'll leave my notes there and go on to the PowerPoint presentation if I can get this successfully switched. Yes, there we are. So this is our topic. Now, if we ask ourselves, what is Toastmasters? Okay, there it is. You can read it, and that is one of the opening sentences on the TR website. Now, if we're going to be a world leader in communication and leadership development, let's think about what started all of this. And we all know the basic story of Smedley. The issues were that people felt disempowered. They had needs. There were specific needs of the era. There were needs for skill sets. But it's a changing world. We have new means of communication now, and new skill sets are required. So we still have the same mission that Smedley had. We have a new form of disempowerment, and we have new needs that people have. So what can we do about this? Excuse me a sec, another technical glitch. What are some of the ways in which Toastmasters can utilize online communication technology? Now, I put this post up in 2014. What do you see as ways in which online technologies can be used to supplement and enhance physical club meetings?
Mark, we're seeing your Windows screen.
Okay, thank you for that, Graham. I said nothing ever goes wrong, goes wrong, goes wrong. So,
you need to shift screens. You're actually showing us your second screen.
Yes, I am. My apologies about this. My second screen cut out for a moment, which is, of course, extremely frustrating. Okay, so got that back.
Best way to stop sharing and then share again.
Yes, not actually screen share, Julie. He's using, I suspect, OSB.
Yes, Graham, did you want to have something to say while I try and fix this?
No, that's all right. I was just going to say, while you're, to err is human, to really foul things up requires computers. Something that you were talking about before reminded me of my first online/on-site club experience. Those of us who were online, yep, and you probably remember this, quite often had no idea what was going on in the room. We couldn't hear the speakers, we couldn't see the speakers, and it was a disaster. I maintained my membership because it was one of a club in a district which had rolled out pathways, but much long before anywhere else in the world. So it was giving me a chance to get into pathways before. But yeah, we just couldn't see a thing. We can see you now. We can see your post. You're back where you're supposed to be.
Okay, so I posted this in 2014. What do you see as ways in which online technologies can be used to supplement and enhance physical club meetings? And got a ton of answers, but basically it boiled down to this. Online workshop presenters, governance visits, area director, division director, incapacitated itinerant members, inter-club meetings. Access to external expertise could be an extremely important one. Hey, get somebody that's at the top of their field on the other side of the world and give a workshop. And gee, Graham, I suppose you and I are the other side of the world, aren't we? Club mentoring, even club coaches. I've engaged in being the host club for a remote club coach. And this all lessens the likelihood of absenteeism. So, is this an alternative to physical meetings? Well, it can be temporary, and this might be temporary, though I certainly agree with a lot of the comments that Graham has made and Aaron has made. Things have changed mighty fast, and a very recalcitrant TI that has spent I was going to say 6, but technically it's 18 years arguing about this, how to make a decision in a day. And then kept on changing what their decision was going to be, but finally came out with an answer in 4 days. And now, heck, here we are. All of the things that were previously banned are now in place. And I think WHQ may try to wind back. I think they'll get a heck of a kickback, and I think there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to have to give way on. You know, people are going to say, well, look, you know, we visited this brave new world that we never knew before of online attendance at venued district clubs, and we like it and we want it. Okay, what are the disadvantages of online meetings? Well, there's the technology, the skills in the technology. Some others, there's less presence than what I watch on the screen get around that. Gesturing and stagecraft is a bit more difficult, but it's not impossible. It's just new techniques to learn. And there are organizational logistics, but they're mainly for the fully online clubs that it's difficult to have a fully international club and have the concept of how this fits into area, division and district, which when it all started, when we went from the first club to the second club and transitioned from the US into Canada, and things started growing, Smedley was faced with how are we going to divide all of these up, and geographic distinctions make sense, and in some ways still do, but it is difficult to make sense of it with the fully online clubs. But we're here to talk today about the online attendees. What are the benefits? I've gone through some of the disadvantages. Well, you develop new skills specific to online. it opens up new opportunities, not just for existing clubs, but for new clubs. It empowers those that are remote or itinerant. A friend of mine took 2 years to travel the world, and she was schooling her daughter during that 2 years, and she was attending her club meetings, every meeting for that 2 years. So I believe that this is relevant to the changes that we have in society, and in my opinion, it fully retains the Smedley vision, however different it might seem to what he envisioned. Okay, now, I recorded a snippet of a club that I'm an online attendee at. Ask for some comments.
I do not think that Narracourt Toastmasters would have survived without our ability to pull in experienced Toastmasters, and at that time through Skype. We were down to 6 members and there was very little experience in the club. I know for us, we wouldn't be here without people such as yourself and others that used to join us.
Having this opportunity to communicate, it gives us an opportunity to communicate with the outside world. And that brings us the experience that we wouldn't otherwise get of people like Mark, Graham, and Fiona and Tracy over the years. It brings that into our club and it makes up this space a much richer space for that. Without that, as a club, I think we would have been. It also connects us with when a couple of weeks ago we had that young lady from Melbourne, and she brought another dimension so that everybody who comes through that adds something else to this book.
And we would miss out on so much if we couldn't do things remote.
Okay, now, was that difficult to hear? Yes, okay.
It was a little, yes.
Okay, well, basically the first person was saying, look, they were down to 6 members in 2013, and we managed to take them to President's Distinguished about 4 years ago, I think, and they are now well and truly in tune. I've taken them from Skype, of course, so that's all that was available in the old days, and onto Zoom, and basically they're expressing their appreciation. And the very last person that spoke, the lady that you can hardly see on the left there, was saying that they wouldn't be able to accomplish the things that they can accomplish if it wasn't for the remote attendance. One particular issue for this club is online training, as in club officer training, TLA. They don't exactly want to make the travel from Mount Gambier to Adelaide, 500-kilometre trip. They'd have to come down the day before, stay in a hotel night, the first night, attend the TLI for 4 hours, and it's too late to drive back, so another night in a hotel, and it's just too much of an exercise. So I began about 5 years ago also setting up online attendance at training events, and unfortunately I lost the video on this, and you may not be able to hear it anyway. But
well, if they're speaking to an audience anyway, we're just an extension of that audience.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, we're still the audience.
Yep.
I can't see the difference between speaking to someone in the hall and speaking to someone out, you know.
The reason that I played that little clip is that when I first started saying, look, you know, this club is it is the only club in the division that is more than an hour's drive away from the training venue. And you know, in their case, it's a 6-hour drive and overnight stay, etc. But the initial response of the division for training was that the online attendees were just like flies on the wall. They were just observers. And so I worked very hard on practices for making it so that they are participants. They should be just as much part of what's going on as the people in the room. The people in the room need to be paying attention to the online participants. The online participants need to have the opportunity to have things to say. And if it's done well, then everybody can forget where they actually are. Am I in venue? Am I online? If you do it well enough, it just all blends together and you just all feel together.
If they're...
Oh, sorry. So, now Graham will be familiar with this and he's shown you a couple of clips, but trying to remember what year it's 2000 and oh yes, 2002. This circled one. Can you see that clear enough? Regular meetings are conducted in person, and that was added in 2002. It began many arguments as to what in person means. Now, my opinion, and I think probably the opinion of all of you, is that when you are an online attendee, quite frankly, you are there in person. You're not in the venue, but you are there in person. It is in real time, and Toastmasters don't want recordings. They were very confused for many years. They thought that we were all talking about having recordings and then distributing them. And really, if they wanted to make a point about it, they should have said live, and if they really wanted to push it, they should have said in venue. But as far as I'm concerned, in person, we are in person, whether you're in the venue or online. There was a rumor that that was specifically added in 2002 to prevent people from having online meetings. Now, there were changes in policy. So in August 2014, TI approved what they then called a two-phase approach. They've dropped the terminology now, but they wanted to integrate online options into clubs, and that required modifications to that particular protocol. And phase one, which they announced at the International Convention in 2014, allowed online participation in clubs meeting in physical venues, which is what we're talking about now. Now, I think this is a very pertinent point because don't let anybody who's only ever been involved in online, fully online clubs give you the feeling that they're the experts, because online, clubs, districted clubs with online attendance were allowed the year before fully online clubs were, and a lot of people got a lot of experience before fully online clubs did. As Graham pointed out, the catch with that is that the majority of its members meet in the physical venue, but heck, I've never had an international director visit the club, so I don't think there's any checking that goes on. Now, phase 2 was brought out on 22nd of March 2016, and that was the one that allowed the fully online clubs to charter. It did require a revision of the governing documents, which was made in 2016, and which essentially said this, and I've tried to highlight the B there. So B replaces the old B, and it says, I still don't like the wording, but regular meetings are conducted in person except when a club decides to allow a minority of its members to attend online, or when a club has chartered as an online club in which all members may attend online. Now, again, as far as I'm concerned, there's a difference between venue and online, but there is no difference between in person. If you're online and it's live, you are at that meeting in person. These were the first 2 clubs to charter quickly. I'll put an asterisk by Netizens, because the Netizens was the very first club to charter under the new rules, and it was in fact the club that sprang out of that study group that was looking into the ways and means of how you can run online clubs. So what does it take to run online attendance at a physical club meeting? Well, the obvious, of course. You've got to have a physical venue for people to meet in. You've got to have a computing device. You've got to have an internet connection. We're not done, but I just thought I'd throw those in. And you've got to have a video conferencing software. Now, if you think about the basics of what we need and why we need them, I'm putting the emphasis on the why. We have screens so that we can see, we have speakers so that we can hear, we have cameras so that we can be seen, a microphone so that we can be heard. The question is how we go about this. Now, these can be built into the device, and if you're using a single laptop, which is the way that most clubs with online attendance get started, we'll be using a laptop with the speaker and camera, screen, or everything all built in. But there are other options, of course, for screens, and there are other options for getting external speakers, which generally makes it a much better experience than having a very tinny speaker on the laptop and a microphone that drastically loses audio sound with distance, so the people right next to it come through boomingly loud and the person on the other side of the room can't be heard, and the laptop is very hard to see from the other side of the room. I'd just like to have a read of that. Because I'm very much against the fly on the wall scenario, and I think we all are. Want to move on there to what can we do for setting up. And the simplest setup always starts like this. A club decides to become a club with online attendance, and they start off with a laptop at the opposite end of the speaking area. And advantage, well, it's one device only and needs a setup. Disadvantages, image is small, only some around the table can see, and people looking at the online attendee aren't looking at the presenter at the same time, obviously, and vice versa, and the audio tends to be poor for both ends, because the speaker in the laptop is lousy and the microphone in the laptop is lousy. So what can you do to add on to that? Well, my first suggestion is to add on a conference speaker. I'm a great believer in conference speakers rather than microphones, because they're dedicated to that task. They free you from wearing a microphone, and they have built in all of the echo cancellation. Some have multiple mics which point in different directions, and they pick up fairly well everybody around the tables. So the advantages: improved audio. Disadvantage: uneven audio between participants around the table. Now, in one club that I was a member of, this was solved by frequently shuffling the conference speaker, sliding it along the table from one end to the other, depending on who was beginning to talk at the time. What else can you do to improve things? Well, add an external monitor to the laptop so that at least you've got a bigger screen for the online participants to see. So you've got an improved image size. You've still only got that one conference speaker though, and so you still have uneven audio, and you still have the problem, especially for the online attendees, that it's difficult for them to see the audience and the presenter at the same time, and difficult for the people in the venue to see both at the same time. So what's the way around this? Hey, add a whopping large monitor or a TV. Most venues, if you're meeting in a pub, for instance, most venues will have a TV, and if you can arrange your tables so that the person in the speaking area in that scenario has a good view of the online attendees. Still in that scenario, the uneven audio for the participants around the table, and still have the problem that it's good for the speaker out the front, but it's not good for everybody else. So what can you do differently? Well, you can put a TV by the speaking area, and then all of the attendees in the venue can see the online attendees as well as seeing the speaker. That's probably the better move if you have only got the facility to have one TV. Again, improved image size, but it is distributed between who can see what the best. And in this scenario, the venue attendees can see well, but the speaker can't. So what else can you do? Well, do two visual devices. Have your TV, but add on a second monitor as well, so that everybody can see both. So you've got 2 camera views for the online attendee, 2 screens for the online attendee, and you need to think carefully though about what defines looking at the attendee. Now in this mock-up here, you'll see I'll put the webcam close to or on the TV, and therefore looking at the TV is the same as looking at the person. That's not always done though, and I'll come to that in a moment. Now for audio, so I'll go back one. As your club has more money to spend, consider a second conference speaker, one at each end of the table. I've bought a set that can work together as a pair, so that the same sound and the same microphone pickup can be done without any interference with each other. Highly recommended. You can see that I've deliberately started from the simple, how do you get started on this, versus how can you slowly build it up to make it better. Now you could also add a roaming device. Hey, get somebody with a smartphone, get them to log on and get them to walk around. Just adds a bit of interest, and particularly if your club has a break, the guy roaming around can go around different people in the venue and introduce the venue people to the online people, and it's a great way of the online attendees really feeling like they're part of the club. Now, in terms of equipment, I've done a bit of looking into equipment. Everyone will always have their favorites, of course. The club that I was in, one person had this device, and that was the one that we had to do the shuffleboard from one side of the room to the other. But I have purchased this device because it's got that nice pop-up stand. It's got 4 built-in microphones. It's got echo cancellation. It's got a way of distinguishing between voice and what it would consider background noise and dampening the background noise. And they can be operated in pairs, so you can have one at each end of the table. If you've really got the big bucks, this is what corporations use. It unfortunately is not a battery operated device, which makes it a bit difficult for some setups, but it is the top of the range. But you know, it costs about $1,000, so it tends to be well out of reach of the other devices. This is what I'm currently using for internet access. I never trust the venue's Wi-Fi. 9 times out of 10, it's rubbish, and I therefore prefer to carry around my my own Wi-Fi to the mobile phone provider, and this one happens to be the current world's fastest. It can connect 20 Wi-Fi devices, and it works. It gets its speed by working on multiple bands. That's why I put that carrier aggregation there, and they say the speed is 1 gig down, 150 up, which is great. In my tests, I find I get 300 down, 55 up, which is not what they say, but it's still damn good. It does, of course, depend on the location and the kind of towers that the provider has, but your provider will have coverage maps. Now, separating the webcam from a device enables access to that device for controlling, including you can do video zooming, you can turn video on and off, switch between different cameras, turn the audio on and off, and that can leave you free to monitor and respond to chat. I wonder how many of you started with that one laptop, which has got the screen up right, and you're behind the screen, and the screen is pointed to the speaker, and the camera is pointed to the speaker, and you can't see the screen. You don't know when a chat comes in, and if you did know, you'd have to reach and do this. If you go down the road of separate devices, then you can dedicate one device as a manager of the session. So somebody that can watch what's going on, see who's coming in, let people in, do the chats, respond to chats, etc. Highly recommend it. This is what I'm using for a camera. Got one right here that I'm not using at the moment. Logitech tend to be seen as the best brand. The one that has been thought to be the best for a long time is the 720, but the 930 gives high definition resolution, much better lighting control, etc., and is considerably cheaper than the high-end Brio, which is a 4K, which I don't think we need 4K for online attendance. But wait, I've gone through all of that, of all the technology, but really there's far more to this, because online attendance is really about the experience of the meeting, the management of the meeting, and working out the best practices. Remember, technology is just there to facilitate the meeting. Think carefully about your choice of technology, but don't let it dominate. Think about what is important in interaction between the online attendees and the venue attendees. It's important that they all feel included. Consider having extra personnel. Sorry, just go back to that. Somebody's got to set all of this up, and it can be quite a job, particularly as you advance in the amount of equipment that you've got. And this is why I made the comment that being the hosted venue of a club with online attendees is considerably more complicated, tedious, time-consuming, and you really need to consider having people to take on various jobs. I'm involved in one club that has a online quality manager that looks out for what went well and what didn't go well in the technology and in the interaction between the venue attendees and the online attendees, passes that on to the general evaluator, and it's included in the general evaluation. I think of all of this under the term togetherness through connectedness. So the emphasis, of course, is the togetherness. We all want to have that feeling of being together. We don't want our online attendees to be fly on the walls. Flies on the wall. So how do we do this? Well, you include your online attendees. Look at your online attendees. Remind your venue audience that your online attendees are in the camera, not on the screen. You've probably all gone through it where somebody wants to speak to an online attendee and they turn around and speak to the screen, but the camera's over there. And you have to remind them, look, if you want to speak to the online attendee, they're in that little white dot over there. So please speak to them over there. Don't speak to the screen. So that's the end of my presentation now. There are a fair lot of Q&As as I could determine while I was having my technical difficulties going on, but over to you if you do have any additional questions. Yeah, go on, Graham. You need to unmute yourself. You can't. Okay, it's up to you, Aaron.
Thank you very much.
Now I can. Now I can.
Okay. Sorry, Graham, go ahead. Okay, so don't worry, I'm trying to catch up on time, and really thank you for 32 survivors on this webinar. I will say that this is the last workshop for the whole series. We have 3 DTMs, 3 amazing distinguished Toastmasters, not disappearing, but distinguished Toastmasters. Give a round of applause for that first, okay? Now, finally, I have been waiting for a long time to be coming on the stage now, to be doing this workshop. So may I welcome everyone to switch on your webcam for a bit. Just see how you guys are doing. Don't be shy, and I don't bite, and let me feel the vibe first, okay? Get it up, ongoing, and have fun, okay? It's not gonna be that monotone. It's gonna be interactive, okay? I assure you that. So everyone, please switch on webcam. At least we can see your lovely smiles. Now I can see lots of gentlemen and lots of lovely ladies. Now let me give you a question first before I even start my workshop. My workshop is very simple. Step-by-step online attendance, and also anything that the other workshops have missed. So now, experience the feeling of people looking at you online right now. You can see lots of people in the squares, right? You want them to feel as amazing in an actual meeting. In online attendance, the connection, the feeling is what it matters. You want to duplicate and replicate the same feeling, or nearly 100% the same feeling, in an online meeting, online attendance meeting. You want that same vibe. So are you with me to really get that feeling up? If you do, please type number 1 in the chat box so that we can see that you're following through, okay? Thank you, great. We have lots of amazing awake members. So let me gonna kick off with things that I will say is like a summary of lots of things we have mentioned. I'm just trying to summarize a lot. So now is the time for my little workshop. But I'm assure you that it's going to be very interactive. You'll also see my darkest secrets too. What they are, I will actually show you later. So now it's online attendance step by steps. And it's actually a summary of a lot of things that have been mentioned today. So this is my 3 key agendas: online attendance, the must-knows that you need to know, the step-by-steps, and also a live demonstration of my deepest secrets of how messy my house is. Okay? But then I'll let you understand what is online attendance. There are many types of clubs around the world. Traditional, we have different terminology, online clubs 100%. We have Toastmaster with online attendance as Elysia actually mentioned, and also many other people would actually have a different terminology like hybrids, blended, whatever it makes sense. But the thing is, in the Toastmasters International Bylaws 2.0, it shows that Toastmaster clubs which offers online attendance. So this is actually the terminology for that. And some clubs that has a specific requirements for accepting clubs online, and also clubs that are only like specifically for members. As a guest, you can't visit it. Okay. So okay, it's not organizing district conference because that's actually a wrong slide. But this is what happens if you're in that feeling. So you guys have experienced what a brick and mortar club is. You have lots of feelings, but unfortunately we turn online. And online we have the lack of interaction and connections. We feel that we are detached from it. And then I was like this guy over here, if you actually see very closely. This on the left-hand side, you see me wearing a hat in the screen of reflection. So it's also about personalization. We got bored and we try something new. So it's about you standing out and being yourself in an online setting. It's just like you go into an actual meeting. You're dressed up, your first impression, it counts. Now, this is what it called for online attendance. You can see the difference. Now, online attendance is actually whereby, as Mark Reynolds actually mentioned about, is whereby you get to visit that club and you are actually sitting somewhere at your home, but then you actually going and experience the table light, the red wine, but although I don't have it, it's that feeling that you are like there with them and they treat you as part of the family. This is a feeling that we want to have, or at least trained all our Toastmaster members who wants to go for an online attendance option in your club. Try this. Really, it works a lot. On the picture on the left or right-hand side, you can see that there's a table. That's actually a very big screen, and there will be a projector there. So you will see that there are lots of different elements in play for that. So you see people joining online. There's a speaker screen. There is an audience screen, which I'm going to draw to you later. This is as summary for everyone as Toastmaster Bylaws 2.0. Check it out, the Toastmaster International webpage is there. Just click on it. And obviously for online attendance, the benefits is you still have an area director or division director that still visits you, okay? So it's still part of the district. And most importantly, online attendance is just a tool. It's only an option for members who might be busy working at home or maybe like in their office, still want to support the club, or people who might be traveling, people with disabilities, people who may think that, oh, this is a world-class speaker, I'm going to invite him to be a general evaluator. The resources are there in online attendance. Everything that you have online is also in present. So well noted for everyone though. If you want to know more about the elements in play for online attendance, click on the FAQ link below, or you can just go on Toastmasters International page, you will see that. Now, online attendance, if you really want to search your club, before COVID-19, this is how we search online attendance. Click it, the tick, and start searching. I spent literally 3 months. Graham, Mark actually definitely see how I was like crazy without it. The reason why is simple. I've visited at least 90% of all the online attendance clubs throughout my time zone. I even wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. just to visit a club somewhere in US, or maybe just like in Spain, Germany, France, whatever it is. I spend to visit to clarify whether they are using online attendance or not. Because I was very first in knowledge, and that your secret, I was actually practicing my pathway speech. Just joking. But before that, I definitely was trying to visit all the clubs, trying to connect with the global resources. But then that time, not many people were involved in online until this virus comes by. So I would say I will have to thank you, coronavirus, in some way, that all this virus give me all my preparation that I prepared for today just to get everyone online. That's just a joke. But it's at least the fun part about it is that whatever you have prepared, it actually helps you cope. And also helps me to train people around the world on the district's online contests too. So this is how I spend my hard work on that. But as you know that sometimes when you actually go for online attendance, there are lots of things to test out. It's not just as simple as it seems to be, because you have an in-person audience and you have an online audience that you have to care about. It's not that simple. In online, you just need an SAA, a host, and that's all. But in an actual meeting, you also have an SAA that welcomes people, right? So when you have an in-person meeting, or rather saying the actual meeting there, and you have some online, you need to have a couple of people that helps you out. before that, you need to test your software that you want to use, such as, for example, Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts, whatever that matches you. Toastmasters International actually use more on Zoom, which is actually pretty practical, and in terms of reliability, after testing is one of the better ones there. Compared to like Skype, Google Hangout is still more reliable. But there are some other softwares such as BlueJeans, such as like WebEx. These are some alternative options. In China, they use Tengshin. So this is like another option. Choose the option that matches, okay? I have to clarify. In online attendance, choose a platform that your members feel easy to attend. Okay, don't try to introduce like complicated softwares. Like, I don't even know how to log in. How do I even download it? Where should I download it and stuff? Have a user manual for them if you're trying the online attendance option. I assure you that is a very crucial step. If they understand how it goes, then the transition is totally easy. Everyone so far is okay? If you think it's all right so far, give me a thumbs up just to check everyone is still awake. Thank you. Great. Now, I personally prefer, one of the best thing is Google Hangout, because I can wear a mask, I can put a party hat, I have all the fun elements in play. But then the thing is, Google Hangout, you can have a lot of people. So if you have like a 20 to 30, then it's going to ruin the whole show. So just keep it to yourself to decide, test it out. Don't just trust my word for it. Don't just trust anyone for it, but trust your trials, okay? Because it actually matches you. Like, are you like very hardworking to research that? Do you actually read the user manual? These are some things to consider for an actual online attendance meeting. Now, some 4 basic steps that we need to remember. This is actually a slide that I created back in 2017. And ironically, it still works today because nothing much has changed. So I'm just using back the slides, which I use it in past. I think it's still relevant. First things first, in an online attendance, okay, to do the rundown, you need to have a very stable Wi-Fi internet access. Otherwise, why would we have an online attendance, right? How does the audience actually join in? So you need to have a stable Wi-Fi that ensures that they actually join in. Sounds very clear and obvious? Give me a thumbs up, you agree? You need to have it online, thank you. And then backup option, we usually have hotspots or even like a mobile phone internet to actually stabilize the Wi-Fi. So there has to be a couple of devices. The actual recommended number for a device in online attendance meetings are 3. This is my suggestion, my own personal suggestion. 1 laptop with a nice webcam, 2 phones on a standby. But if you want to be very fancy, like Mark having a television, which I'm not that rich, okay, just saying. But the thing is, if you have the mobile phone, that should be sufficient because it actually matches the different angles in play. Remember the first exercise that we have done to ask everyone to switch on the webcam. Imagine that if we cannot even see the speaker, if we see the different angles, like we see one person chop off in half, would you like that experience though? Or would you want to see that person in full? Same thing in online attendance. We want to give the best possible in-person experience as if you are there. Clear? Thumbs up? Just testing everyone. It's just like, it's a wake up call. Every time you raise your thumbs up, according to studies, it actually raises your blood circulation. It keeps you warm and healthy. It's just joking. Now, this is what happens in an actual online attendance. You will notice, okay, that I circled 3 little boxes for you. 3 little boxes. On the left-hand side, there is a stage. You definitely need to have that stage time, okay? Although that person is not looking at the camera, this is actually just like a moderate style of online attendance. This is like only when you started your online attendance journey. This may be something that you have to foresee. 1, always maintain that speaking stage are always visible. 2, if you notice the second square on the right-hand side, you move to the right, you see the audience view, okay? The audience view is very important as well because you can see who are there, right? And finally, last one that I do on the most right-hand side is from the back view because I want you guys to actually see clearly of how big this room is or more people, like how many people are there in actual fact. So you're seeing from different angles. We're giving you a 360 degrees experience as much as possible because the more you see, the more you experience that you are there. And online attendance actually focus on your own personal experience though. This is, to me, when I look back at this slide, I think that I was a failure. Because like this is like, okay, this is only just level 1. The proper one, I'm going to draw to you later on in a paint slide of how it can be done, okay? Number 3, you need to have a certain manpower. Online, one person that's SAA, which is the host, and in person, one SAA, which is the host. Why would I say so? Because people who are online, you can have an online SAA that actually maintains the mute issues. There will be noise, background, and stuff like that. The online one will actually maintain what happens if you get disconnected with the actual in-person meeting. You have to foresee this possibility. So when you have online elements in play, this SAA will keep those people who are online happy, keep them welcome and pumped. Obviously, you need to have someone that is dedicated to online hosting, okay? Well, you're connecting to the actual meeting there. There will be one person who is the tech person who will be controlling all the little buttons as if that person is online. So that person is also a host. But in actual reality, we usually give this task to someone that is tech proficient or the software proficient. In here, we use Zoom, so a Zoom expert. Someone that actually maintains the clarity, spotlighting, for example, which we'll be doing a little exercise later on, just letting you see how it actually goes. And also maintaining the chat box to maintain, because there will be some audience online that says, I cannot hear you, or maybe like they get disconnected. What do you troubleshoot for? So this person, the tech support, will provide needy support along the side, online and in person, so one person. So in total, there are 3. Okay, 3 will be a nice sweet point. And a projector. You need to have a projector, otherwise what will the audience see? See the computer? Like if you have 30 people to 50 people, would they just see the computer? No, everything will be tiny. So you need to have a projector that actually really shows the gallery view of the meeting itself. So the gallery view actually see the more audience, the better. And then if you want to spotlight, like for example, someone wants to go for table topics, you want to control the spotlight to that person so that we can hear that person and focus on that speaker as if that in person, they were there. Same thing as online. They want to see you as if they were there. Vice versa. The experience of vice versa. Okay. Everyone okay so far? On the thumbs up on the summary? Still okay? Yeah. So benefits we have heard a lot, but I think the most important benefits about online attendance is the flexibility, the resources that you can connect. This is something that I really love because I have actually connected 3 to 4 hospitals with dying patients, people who are terminal disease. And then we actually connect with online attendance to the raw resources, to some of the amazing football players, or even like those, I would say, dream makers. They are like entrepreneurs who are doing some charities, and then they connect with those kids, those dying patients, like live up a dream. And I think that that's a really nice touch on that, because online itself, it brings the world closer to you. If you have online attendance, and anyone, any club can have it, the only exception is 100% online clubs. But the other clubs, any other clubs, you can have an online attendance. Just pass through a form, and that's all. So this too, I think, is like a very nice touch. One of the additional touch I would say is for the disabled. This are one aspect that I've been focusing in Toastmasters for a long time. Look at pathways right now. We have a pathways for disabilities, or we'll say for people with special needs. And they actually have that manuals there. Online attendance actually helps people who may be feeling inconvenient to travel there because they are in a wheelchair. You wouldn't want them to spend all the time moving, right? The reason why is very simple, because I experienced that. This is me. I am in a wheelchair, an actual wheelchair. And this is what happens in the COT. I have to actually move the wheelchair all the way, take a cab. I still want to catch up my club officer training in a wheelchair. I become the spotlight. Unfortunately, that's not the thing that I want to be as a spotlight. I experienced how it means to a disabled person. I don't want to see them suffering just for the sake of trying to improve themselves. Make it convenient for them. Now, obviously, some ideas and stuff you can actually control with different people. I tried to go online to actually get more information about pathways, which my district was originally not that knowing, until I become a guru in pathways, completing all 11 paths in pathways, which I spent like 1 year and 9 months finishing all 11 paths, creating the pathway matrix, Everything you can see in PowerPoint, I still do it. So these are all learning opportunities to me. Now, obviously, privacy issues and echo issues will be the key for online attendance because you will see that often. Remember the Zoom bombing, guys? Remember the Zoom bombing? Let me stop share for a bit, just to make it more interactive and see. Now, how many people remember the Zoom bombings? If you know what Zoom bombing is, okay? So what happens in the actual Zoom bombing? The funniest moment that I actually have is that when I was in online attendance meetings, someone was actually going to the toilet, the restroom. And then we can experience the whole process through sounds. And that was a nice gesture, I assure you that. It makes everyone laugh. That was the best humorous speech that the person has not spoken. It's just make of sounds. And think about it in a different way. Would you want that to happen in an online attendance? You wouldn't. You want to actually ensure that it's actually for your members. It's done well professional, right? You want them to experience at least how it goes in online and in person too. Now, when we talk about experience in a way, I'm going to do a demonstration of how an online attendance works. So first of all, as I mentioned, you need to have how many devices in total? Type in the chat box for your answer. If you still remember my answer, how many devices? Great. 2 phones and 1 laptop, or if you are rich enough, 3 laptops, or if you are super rich enough, 3 televisions. No, one laptop and 2 TVs. That will be fine. So now you actually see that my phone here is actually in the meeting right now. So what actually happens in the online attendance is that you need to have the first device that you can hear me talking, right? This is the main device. 2 is that this phone, remember not to enable voice. Why? Because in an actual meeting, when you have 2 electronic devices in the same places, too close to each other, you have the echoing, screechy sound. So always prevent that situation by removing the audio in your phone. Okay? Then what do we use this for, right? This is for the camera angle. So this is the demonstration I'm going to do. And as I'm also demonstrating how IT guy would do. So now this phone is here. You can see that at the gallery view, there is one guy called Comparative Communicators, which is still me. You can see that person. And then this is the angle that you want to see. So as an essay, what I do is that I actually give a spotlight. You see a different angle, right? So you try to position this so that they can actually have the whole view. Don't blame me for a messy house, okay? I assure you that it always on the recording. But the most important element is that this angle is for the online attendees. Why? If you're online, you want to see the whole place, right? You want to experience yourself to be there. So you want that element in play to be adjusting, to be viewable to the audience. So what would this use for? I give you two options. Which one would be your options for this phone? The first answer is, well, this phone can be placed in the speaker stage. So I can see the speaker, right? Or this one would be used to see the audience. Which one would it be? Type in the chat box. If I'm going to use this phone, this lovely little phone here, where am I going to put it there? Audience. We have some people saying audience. Probably audience, yeah. Yes, great. Now the audience part is the reason why is very simple. I think Graham definitely knows why. We online gurus definitely knows why. The reason is because I already given everyone a hint. This one doesn't have an audio. Remember? So that's why you can see the audience as a bigger picture. Let them see how many people are there. Let them see the nice smiley face in the audience. Now, finally, the last device. The last device. Now, maintain the big distance. So what will I do? Okay, so there are 3 devices, right? So laptop and 2 phones. One phone will be looking at the audience. So what does the laptop do? The laptop will be put far away to look from the backyard. Okay, the backyard. So this one is actually the main screen of the whole meeting, as if you are sitting from the audience perspective. I think Graham is not agreeing with me though. For me, I would prefer that. That's my best practice. Reason why is very simple. The way that I'm actually putting the computer to be far away is because the next device is the important one. The phone. Remember the last phone? The last one is the one that I have phone that is only for audio purpose. I put the phone and put on a table near to the speaking stage, and I put the phone there in the center for maximum reception on the voice. The reason why I put it far away, I think Graham may start to understand why I'm putting it far away, is because of the echoing issue that I mentioned before. Putting it too close, you have the screeching sound. Now, this is only version 1. Now I'm going to put the version 2. I think Graham will like this one. The version 2 is slightly different in terms of where the laptop is. The laptop will be showing the speaking stage and also picking on the audio. This is what Graham wants, okay? But this is also an option for everyone to consider, because the laptop itself is actually a very good device to receive a lot of audio, as the wording goes. So it actually captures the audience laughters and everything. So what Graham actually suggests, which I think I'm already reading his mind a bit. So he actually put the laptop in the center, close to the speaking stage, so that we can hear him. We can see the webcam seeing the speaker very clearly, just like they are in front of you. Now, this is option 2. Then let me ask you guys a question. We still have the third device, right? Where should we put it? If you're using Graham's option. Let you think for a bit. We have one that's looking at this audience already. Very nice, lovely smiles, for example. Now the option, then we have the laptop that's showing the screen, that's showing the speaker stage. Now where should the third one be? On your hand? Okay. Let me review the last one. The last one that is really for it is for the controller. This is a different way of playing it. The controller meaning that this person will be actually controlling the meeting as if he has a remote control in his hand. Because you know Zoom can be used in phones, right? So I control like who to mute, who to spotlight with the touch on my phone. So this becomes my remote control. And then it also serves as a backup for audio purposes. What happens when my laptop dies? Your backup, the phone that you're holding, will be your alternative. So in short, 2+1 option. Everyone clear so far on that part? You can actually do like what I do, I'm just saying for fun, okay? If I'm using Graham method, which I did a lot of times often, is that what I did is that I would do a video log with my third phone. You see, like I will spotlight myself and then, look at those friends there. You can see like, look at those crowd there. You want to join Toastmasters? Like, you know, the video log part, giving the very nice enthusiasm in play and then try to make a video log out of it. So this is actually something that I will let everyone consider. Obviously, let's go back to the stuff. So there are a couple of things to note. Okay, let me just remove the shop share. In actual summary, for a lot of things in mind, when you think about online attendance, when you're trying to go back in person, first step, talk with your members first. Simple to understand. Talk with your members, let them understand that there is such an option. Would you like to have it? Okay, there will be some members saying, what is online attendance? Do demos. Demonstrate. Let them experience it 1 to 2 times before you go for a vote. Okay? Even when you vote for online attendance, okay, just saying, you can have 100% in person and no one goes online. That is still online attendance. Okay? But then you'll be like picking the word, like online attendance means there's at least one person going online, right? So you provide this option so that members can join a club that has online attendance. Okay? So the thing is in place is that talk with your members, make them clear about how online attendance work together as a team, and train yourself on the software that you want to use. The software is very important. Your user manual is extremely important too. Yes, for the answer for question for Graham is actually that yes, there should be a tech master, definitely. A camera operator, I wouldn't say so. Tech master actually covers that all. Just letting everyone know. Now the thing is, after you vote, if the people says nah, I don't want it, respect it. If people says yes, I want to try it, give it a go for 1 month. Why I say 1 month is because there will be lots of hiccups. You'll experience the 3 common things in online attendance. 1, the extreme screeching noise, because you weren't that suited, because you actually switch on your microphone and microphone at the same time. So that will be the screeching noise that is common in all online attendance really. Like you have to go through this step and it's like, oh, I understand the devastating impact of that screeching noise. That's common. That's number 1. Number 2 that you always face is that there'll be online attendants saying that I can't see the speaker. Will do, definitely. They'll see like, why am I seeing the back of the speaker as if I'm not there, right? The poor angle adjustment. Adjust the screens, adjust the phone that you were doing for the first one, the angle, to everyone's satisfaction. So that to confirm, can you see the audience stage? Can you see the speaker stage? Clarify with the online attendees. Really, when you maintain a great online attendance, online attendees, and in person, obviously also try one more thing is that, can the online attendees hear us? Okay, can the people online hear us? And then can the people online chat with us and type yes, see the reaction and stuff. Get the club ongoing with a momentum, okay? Now, after you vote, you train a few times and online attendance becomes your mood. Then you try to incorporate different things that we actually talk about the benefits. Why not invite a world champion speaker over to your club? Why not invite a district champion in evaluation to help your club to succeed? Why not give this option to your members who are traveling abroad to come by and experience it? Why not give it to your past member that has left, but they want to still experience it? There are lots of possibilities for you to explore there just alone, okay? You can even have joint meetings together. The joint meetings concept is actually like, I actually chartered UBS Toastmaster. I also help to support HSBC, which is a bank. We have HSBC in Hong Kong. We have HSBC in Singapore. We have joined different places, online meetings and stuff. You can do that too. Just think about all the possibilities that online attendance can bring to your club members. In Toastmasters, we district leaders are just services to the members. Remember, the members are always the top, okay? So the members' experience counts. Just like online, you want them to feel valued. You want them to feel inclusive. Then they will be part of you. Same thing in online attendance. So don't worry too much about the tech stuff, because if you really want to go for a tower training, I can train for like 1.5 hours, literally, and after which you'll be so tech savvy that you can control your own online attendance, which is, I assure you that. I train enough to say that. I think, Graham, correct? So I train enough to actually do that. Now, if you are still vague about, if you're still very confused of how an actual online attendance structure would be, this is a real live walkthrough of how an online attendance works. So first of all, I just get a pen, okay? Just let me see whether I have a nice sketchy one. So this, okay, this, the first one, the black one, is the stage. Everyone okay so far? Stage, the speaking stage, okay? Then you have audience 1, audience 2, audience 3. I just ignore my drawings, it's really bad. Audience like blah, 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 blah. Now the thing is that when you have audience like that, the first thing you need to do for online attendance is that you want to give a very clear view of that stage, okay? So what do you mean by that? I will just undo it. So what you mean by that is that you will give an open space. See this positioning? So you want them to see the stage clearly, okay? So this is the stage. I'm just drawing it, just letting everyone see the conceptual part. Now, remember the 3 devices that we had? remember that just now we had the 3 devices, right? The first one that I think from the phone itself is that I'll actually put the phone around here, so I can see all the way to the audience. This is phone 1. This is only just a demo template, okay? Phone number 1 is there. No, what? No audio. Do not switch on the audio for this, because you will have the screeching sound. If you're going for Graham's method, he will be putting his laptop around here, or maybe closer, okay? So the webcam can see the stage. Clearly, they will see the speaker. Now, let me explain a bit of a downside if you want to try this method. If you're going for this downside to see the stage, what happens if the speaker moves around constantly? Walk out of the stage. What do you do about it? So this is like the downside of it. That's why I prefer my option number 1, because I can see at least where the speaker is going. So if you're going for my method, I will put it far away like here, okay? But then this will not be my audio reception, okay? This will be just for the webcam, because the webcam that you have for your laptop can be better than the phone, okay? After which, now point number 3, if you're using my method, I'll put the phone around here. This is the phone. Phone 3. This one is only audio. Why? It's because you want to pick up the audio reception as close as a speaker without causing much of a hassle. You do not want them to trip over your phone or hammer your phone in some way. So you need to maintain your phone in somewhere that the speaker would not feel that is a distraction. Okay? Now, this is only a couple of methodologies for you to think about. At least you can imagine from there. One golden rule: never, ever, ever put the device close to one another. Because of the internet, those electric waves or radio waves or those electric waves are very interfering with each other, so it creates the screeching sound. Now, one more additional option for you, if you think about it, you can actually add the phone number 4. Like we don't know phone number 1, 2. We have phone number 3. You can actually add the phone number 3, and what's it used for? Okay, so if you're a club that welcomes the audience to give some feedbacks, right? If you are doing a floor evaluation or round robin, why not let the audience pass around a phone with an audio only on, to let people online hear what you say? Because remember, the phone number 1 is very far away from the stage, and phone number 2 is actually mainly specific for speakers. What about the audience who want to shout and give some comments? You want to consider about this option. I'll pass the phone around like this way, so it doesn't interfere too much. I will pass the phone so because they can speak through the phone and speak to the audience, speak to the speaker. Like, I'm going to give you a floor evaluation, etc. 1, number 2, number 3. These are some ways for you to consider for online attendance. This is only just a rough template, but the actual setup is actually way more, because depending on where you position the laptop, remember we have to have manpower. There will be one person that's always sitting there at the computer maintaining the whole structure. There has to be one person online to maintain the whole piece. And there has to be one person that always needs to troubleshoot and run around. So online attendance is not as easy as it seems. You need to train a few times before you release to the public. You do not want to ruin your experience or the other people's experience on a rehearsal. This is what a lot of people online clubs, sorry, Graham, I have to say this very out loud. Those people in 100% online clubs always talk about they know about online stuff, but when they talk about online attendance and didn't know about this tech issues, I only can sign, because they never really experienced the whole procedures through. Now, if you were trying that, you will know what it means. So yeah, so I think in total, I generalized and summarized everything conceptually wise, interactive part. I think you get a big idea of how it goes, I hope. Now, question and answer section though. I hope I didn't bore you out, guys. So although through my workshop, I increased 2 members, 2 attendees in this meeting. So I'm proud of myself. Okay. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Will the inclusion of phone 4 means that offline interaction is sacrificed? No. Offline interaction is like, remember in an actual meeting itself, you have a break time. You can switch off that microphone and we can talk and stuff like that. Some of the club meetings actually have dinners after that. If you want to have that elements of interaction, if you want everyone to be talking and sharing the ideas, put the phone somewhere closest to the center of the audience. Then the voice will be picked up, if that is your concern. Now, then the Zoom master will also have to pin the cameras. Yes, I wouldn't say pin. It's called spotlighting. Pin and spotlighting are 2 different things. If you play zoom in out, you know the difference of pin and the difference of spotlight. Pinning is that I can pin a very lovely catty toe here and no one noticed it. But then if I spotlight it, people will know who I spotlight. Okay, just joking. But then spotlighting is actually meant for the host to direct the attention to whichever online attendee it is. So the importance of Zoom Master, or we'll say Tech Master, is crucial in online attendance. You need to have a tech expert online and a tech expert in that venue to make an online attendance work smoothly. Okay. Once using the angle for facing the stage, if you're using Grand method, it's like the laptop camera will be seeing the stage. So the stage is limited. It's close to the stage, but you can pick up the volume. For my method, I put the webcam all the way back at the back of the audience so that they can see everyone there. But the downside of it is that the further you stand, what is the weakness of it? I can barely see the facial expression of the speaker. Right? That's the downside. But then what can be safe? Use the third phone. Remember, the third phone. If you're working on like, okay, this reception is not that good, then you can use the phone to focus on the speaker. Then you have the view of all the essence of a speaker on stage. Thank you very much for those who are attending. Most clubs in Australia have audience in a U-shape. Yes, a U-shape is a good idea though, because the U-shape actually gives the maximum space count, and also the audios are nice, transparent. If you do it in the way that I've suggested, the one that is like station, it's kind of congested. If you do a U-shape, it becomes much more relaxed. The sound, the reception actually picks up quite well. Graham, please add on. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, I can't hear you. What?
I cannot.
What do you mean you cannot?
Well, because the host had muted me, I could not unmute.
Okay,
yeah, somebody
please.
has. Yes, good. Okay. There's been some observations about if you've got the laptop facing in the direction of the speaker, for example, that you have to have somebody else as a Zoom master. There is a simple solution to this, and that is have an external camera. You can pick them up for $20. And if you've got an external camera, you can point it in whatever direction you like. The laptop can continue to face the Zoom master, the tech master, whatever you're going to call the person controlling that part of the meeting. And you just turn the external camera around at the direction that you want it to go. That solves an awful lot of problems. And as I say, if you can pick up a camera for $20, if you can get one, they're very difficult to get just at the moment because of COVID-19 and everybody wanting to have connections online. But when you can get an external camera, use one. It actually makes life so much simpler.
Well said. I will say that that is actually a very great suggestion. Unfortunately, I don't have $20. But yeah, but saying that what happens if you don't have that $20 is that one of the alternative suggestions is actually you can spend $2 on what? If it's Australian bucks though. You can spend $2 Australian and buying something called the wide angle lens. What do you mean by wide angle lens? If you are a video logger, if you have been taking lots of selfies, you might understand this terminology. What does it mean? That you put that wide screen lens, or we call it the other one is like fish eye lens. You put it close to the webcam, and it will widen the angle. so you can have a bigger space. That's one option. The other option to solve that, other than external webcams, I would say this one is better, is that since you're saying spending money on the webcam, right? Why not use one more additional tech tool? One more additional phone. Just use it. I believe there will be some people having it. So why not add one more? It's still okay. But for the host itself, the tech support needs to be very clear. Which camera is which? You know, like camera number 1, camera number 2, camera number 3, and camera number 4. Which one should I spotlight? There's so many screens. You need to be very sure. So you need to make sure that it's actually very well connected. The Zoom master can control. Oh yeah. This is a point I mentioned, forgot, and it's the third suggestion. This third suggestion is really for those advanced online attendance clubs. This one allows you online to control where the camera is pointing, if you know where I'm coming from. So there are functions in online that you can control literally on the actual venue camera. I can turn it left, I can turn it right, I can just adjust from an audience angle. I cannot see the speaker. So I'm just controlling from my laptop from my home, and let me turn it to the left, I can see more people. So you have a webcam that's controlled by people around the world on looking at where you want to go. This is for advanced online attendance clubs, which I have been to 2 to 3, which I think, what the? I use that high-tech savvy. So I was like, I just turned to 11, I want to see the person. That guy was chopped off in half. Let me see the person's clear face. So what I did is actually control the webcam and start to see the person clearer. But then someone else online, turn it back. So that is the downside, just saying. But I think, Graham, I solved your problem, like giving additional answers to. Yes, as the laptop facing someone online, yeah, true, I would say, because the main audience is actually in person. The main crowd, you have to be in person. You notice that people online are like just enjoying themselves, just saying, because they only just need to care about whether they can go online and whether their webcam can see their eyes clearly or that not showing their nose. But in the actual, they'll be like running, panic, and say, oh, I cannot hear that guy. He's doing table topics. How do I mute him? So there'll be people running around like that. But once you get the whole flow through, it's going to be very easy. Like for me, I do online attendance anytime because I know exactly what is needed. I can do it everything by myself. But I can tell you it's exhausting because I need to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes to set up the whole thing. 10 to 15. But if you have 4 people who are tech savvy, it can be done within 5 minutes. Okay, so any other questions? I think I gave a very nice overview already, or summary. If you do like my session of summary, please type the number 1 there. If you think it's very bad, type number 2 so I can know how bad it is. Thank you. 5, 6 means what? I should run away. But yeah, I really throw in your questions about online attendance. In terms of online attendance, I have to be very proud and say that I'm one of the first people who focus dedicatedly on online attendance. I researched until the beginning of time, even before the legal impacts of online attendance. Okay, so let me ask everyone a question though, if you are paying attention to it. Which is the year that online and online attendance is approved? Yes, great, 2015. So those people who have been spending a long time, like Graham, me, we are all troublemakers, in short. Because we have been trying that option for a long time, and we believe there are loads of potential that Toastmasters International could have discovered. They approved us. They understand how our benefits come by. Mark, would you like to add something on to my suggestions?
Nope, you did fine.
Do you guys have fun so far? I hope I wake everyone up. I hope. Yeah. One more tech stuff, or what I was saying, the tech tip for everyone to consider. is that you need to be very functioning on caring about the online audience with extreme care. This is something that I think most of the online attendance clubs will forget about it. They even forget that you existed. Yesterday, I was actually in a meeting in the online attendance club, and I was there. The projector is switched on. I was actually there, but they never treat me as someone being there. So being in person, you need to value those people coming online, that they are also part of your team. This is something that people may overlook because like they will be focusing on the people in front, shake hands, give a hug, talk about the times of coronavirus, how you get fat within 3 months. But those people online, they're also part of you. You know that when you have online attendance, there's one secret to increase your club retention rates. For those of you who understand it, you can gather any members around the world to be your member. Okay, very clear cut. Graham, would you like to say something?
Just something you talking about, making sure that your online members are engaged in an on-site online meeting. One thing that a couple of clubs that I'm involved with do is there is, you know how you have a general evaluator at the end of the meeting, there is a second general evaluator who evaluates from the online perspective. And if it does nothing else, it reminds your on-site members that there is an online component to this. And I find that that works really well. Not for the first week, obviously, but for the second meeting, everybody remembers the online evaluator's comments from the previous meeting.
Definitely agree on that part, but although my practice for online attendance is that the G should also evaluate the online people anyway.
Sure, but
yeah, it gives a very nice specific vibe. It's just like you guys know about a role called body language monitor? If you do, please raise your hand. Online people definitely knows about it. So we have a body language monitor just exclusively for online clubs. Why? It's because we are actually judging on the positioning of the camera. Are you looking at us very clearly? How big is your stage? Can you actually give us gestures? Like, do you do the gestures like this all the time? Are you standing in the right position? Are you making us feel comfortable? Same thing. So body language monitor is also used in online attendance clubs, whereby we value that if you're going to do speeches online and we are in person listening to you, we want to evaluate you just like you're in front of us. So this role is quite important too. You can think about adding this role. The GE role, you can actually add a separate session just dedicated for online. And for me, when I visit an online attendance club, let me tell you that I spent 10 minutes, but then 10 minutes, I focus 5 minutes on the actual bits. And the remaining 5 minutes is the experience, the linkage and connection, and how they can be better at using online attendance. For me, I actually evaluated yesterday in that club that doesn't even know I existed, saying that why not think about 2 options. One is that make sure that there is an online SAA that keeps us all entertained, because your existence matters, okay? Now, the second thing that I will also tell them is that really know the stuff like if you're doing a moments of truth or flaw evaluation, look at the people on the screen. If they are, number one, switch off the webcam. How do you even know that they existed? Are you going to ask them for questions or evaluations? Number 2, are they doing something else? They can't. Okay, so you need to know that they are free to actually answer your questions too. And 3 is also pay attention to slight details. Sometimes they always do this. You say, you are muted. Always do a reminder for that. Sometimes it really works. So you always pay attention to slight details that the people online may make, people in person may make too. Listen to feedbacks. One of the most interesting elements that I also do to help to maintain the connection between in-person and online attendance is that the chat box. The chat box that we have, why? It's because there will be people Okay, there will be people who do not even know how to connect to the audience, connect to the audio. And they will be saying that, why can't I hear anyone? It's because they don't even know how to click that button. So online troubleshooting works. And when you do in the chat itself, they do not want to disrupt the meeting by saying something because their voice is heard through the crowd. So they have to only private message the host saying that, I cannot really hear them. Can you position the microphone closer to the stage? Always open up that chat box, okay? Because they are respecting your meetings. So please also respect their needs. Yep. So I think that's all for a short version of online attendance. I spent like literally 1 hour on that. I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. Leonor, you have a question? No, I'm reading from your lips. I have been trained for 9 years reading people's lips on what your wordings are. When you play enough online, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I am here in Perth, and I am so delighted to be able to listen to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Please ask me for any questions on online attendance. I have to thank 5 people before we end this workshop. I'll still open for the floor for questions. 1, our dear Mark Reynolds. Why do I say so? Because he's the one that I usually scold in the past. Oh, no, just joking. But he's the one that is actually one of the pioneers in online attendance. So give a round of applause for Mark to be in the study group, give some feedbacks. Otherwise, it's not passing through the legacy of online elements. So give a round of applause for Mark Reynolds. Okay?
Thank you.
The second person I would like to thank is Graham. Why would I say so? Do you think that his questions are all on spot? And he shares a lot of different wisdom because he is also part of online attendance, aka hybrid. Just to please you a bit, okay? But the thing is that he is also one of the gurus in online attendance because I've seen how Graham works in online attendance, and I think that to my standard, out of 10 points, I would give a 7 to 8. He's that competent. I wouldn't give an 8 to anyone, just anyone. So give a round of applause for Graham to ask questions because he stands from your perspective, okay? Next, I also have to thank this guy, Willie. Why? It's because of 2 things. 1, he's the tech guru. So if you are someone that loves graphs, someone that loves charts, someone that really loves the IT terminology, yeah, he's the guy, okay? And also thank him for sponsoring this venue so that we can do a global workshop, and it's on the recording for everyone to see. So give a round of applause for Willie. And also, who else should I thank? The 4th person is an old friend of mine, has been online attendance. I see him grow a long time. It is Zaldi. So why do I say so? Zaldi is like a lifesaver for a lot of online attendance. For those of you who didn't know about online attendance, is that Zaldi has been promoting in Philippines for online attendance for a long time, and he has been very experienced in all the online attendance in Philippines, and he is the founder for that, pioneered it whole thing. So give a round of applause for Zaldi. We all need these individuals to help your club and your district to grow. Especially in the time of crisis, you need leaders that steps up. Who else should I thank? I also want to thank someone that's hidden in the crowd. I want to thank Kathy, although she didn't talk anything today. Why? Is because through online, I'm also can help people from Hong Kong all the way to Singapore to do trainings. With online attendance, this is made necessary, and she gave me the opportunity. Give a round of applause. And finally, who else is missing? No one, right? Okay, done. And I will finish. Who?
You didn't mention Elysia.
Where's Elysia?
She's there.
Elysia, please come up to the screen. She's not there. Is she?
You need to unspotlight me.
Oh. No, I actually purposely leave you to the end. The reason why is because without Elysia, you'll not see a lot of benefits about online, right? So great job for Elysia for giving a very nice, decent start to kick off when time is in when our dear Mark was like trying to prepare for a lot of crashing. This is common in online attendance, just saying. When you overcome it, this will be easy. Always have a hotspot. Always have a backup plan with your phones to be doing online workshops, okay? So Elysia, thank you very much for giving us a very well structured. I love your passion there, and I love how you make it so clear for us to understand. Okay, so although we have 40 people tops today, you guys, the reason why you're here is very simple. It's because you know, and you jolly well know, that online attendance is going to strike in the next 2 months. That's why you're here. For those people who don't know, I'm so sorry, you just missed a very wonderful masterclass. But saying that it's my pleasure to be working with such awesome DTMs here. We call that as a very distinguished Toastmaster. So thank you very much for that. Okay. And you don't need to thank me. Okay, just saying. Okay, so now the time is now for Q&A. We are all here until the very end. So ask us any questions on online attendance you may be confused about. Most of us will be confused mainly about the bylaws 2.0, which is about the online attendance. Read that very clearly. You will understand more about it in place. Yep, so with that in mind, we can stop the recording and then chill out. Everyone can actually ask questions. We don't bite, just saying. Oh, my energy. I'm like, oh, I'm too tired.